How to prevent bloating in dogs. Bloat in dogs is a very serious medical condition that should be treated as an emergency. The technical name for bloat is gastric dilation and volvulus syndrome (GDV), and it occurs when the stomach dilates or expands with fluid and gas. Once the stomach expands, the problems increase as the stomach twists and rotates around its short axis. GDV needs to be treated quickly, as the twisting action can irreparably damage the body tissues, leading to death. Assessing and lowering your dog's risk of bloat. Assess genetic risk factors. We are not entirely certain why bloat occurs, but we do know that it can run in families. Determine your dog's relatives, littermate, parents have had bloat. If they have, then your dog has a higher risk of getting it. Determine if your dog has a build that would boost its chances of getting bloat. Middle-aged and older large and giant breed dogs are more likely to experience bloat. Most of these dogs have a deep chest and a thin body frame. These physical traits can contribute to the incidence of bloat. Evaluate whether your dog's eating habits will increase its likelihood of getting bloat. How your dog eats will influence its risk of getting bloat. Feeding habits that can increase the likelihood of bloat include feeding a dog from a raised bowl, feeding a large amount of food or water at one time or over time, once a day feeding, vigorous exercise around feeding time, rapid eating of food, which means more air in the stomach, conditions in which the outflow of food from the stomach is slowed or impeded, feeding dry foods with a high oil or fat content. Eliminate risk factors. While there are some factors you cannot change, such as the genetics and the build of your dog, there are some things you can do to lessen the risk of your dog getting bloat. Researchers at Purdue University performed a major study on bloat in dogs. Divide the food into 2 or more smaller servings a day. Do not feed from a raised bowl. Feed from a bowl on the ground. Make sure that fat isn't in the top 4 ingredients of the food you feed your dog. Do not feed an all-dry food diet. Include wet foods or large meat chunks in the diet. Do not moisten dry food. Wait 1 hour before feeding and 2 hours after eating before letting your dog exercise or before going for walks, etc. For dry food, feed no more than 1 cup per 30 pounds of body weight per meal, divided between at least 2 meals. If your dog is a greedy eater and gulps its food, invest in a food dish that forces the dog to eat slower, such as the slow feeder or fun feeder.